Hi, good evening, and I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for tuning in today. Welcome to the today's session. And today I want to talk about one very important topic on, when people get old and they think that their life is over, and there's some good news on all of this video you're going to take out of it. A couple of days back, I was just watching one of the video on YouTube on how to find your passion. And the video was good, and as I look down on some of the comments, it's very depressing on how the people are expressing themselves. Now, for them, those who think that their life is over and they're in 45, 50, 65, I wish I could have received this advice while I was young, or hopefully in my next birth I will do it. Yes, everybody has an opinion to express themselves, but then hey, you know what? Life is not over as long as you keep taking breath. Now, you can be 65. Yes, it's very difficult to, given the some circumstances, to start something over, to start something new. But still, some of the names which I'm going to bring out of this video, you'll be surprised how people can achieve great things even though when they're in 90s, 60s, 70s, So those are the some inspiring things that I want you to take, because those comments are really depressing when you look at it. Someone is in 45s or 50s or 60s even saying that, what, my life is over. Hopefully I will practice this on my next birth. But then what if in the next birth you don't get the advice in the right time? So you would be thinking the same thing over again, thinking, oh, I'll do it in the next birth. No, I think somehow that we need to draw a line on those things and say, hey, you know what, as long as I take my breath, I have something to offer. Maybe you might not achieve great things, fair enough, but you still can achieve something better than what you are today. The very reason you are taking still breath, that means you have something to offer. You don't need to think ahead of like what you can do or what are great things you can achieve in 10 years, 20 years, 34 years, because probably you might not be alive. I might not be alive by that time. But what is good thing is when you get up in the morning tomorrow, you have a wonderfully given 24 hours. And that's what you need to make most impact on what you can achieve, what you can put effort, because you never know what's going to happen day after tomorrow, because life is very unpredictable. Yes, that is true. But as long as you don't mark yourself, okay, my life is over, that means you're not looking forward for anything. Basically, you just given statement and you're taking the life the way it goes. In my honest opinion, I think that's a foolishness, because we will not allow, and no one cannot allow themselves to be underestimated about themselves. That's something that, if you cannot trust in yourself and if you underestimate yourself, guess what, who is going to think about yourself? Say external people are going to come and wake you up and say, you know what, you have a great capabilities, wake up, you need to go and get on to the work. Nobody's going to do that. So you got to, first of all, you need to have a great opinion about you, to the smallest, whatever the things you can achieve. I'm sure, being a human being, you have a wonderful potential within you if you deeply look within yourself. Without further ado, I wanted to give you some names, and you can refer this, and you can just Google it and see their names and see what are their achievements. That would be able to give you some kind of a hope that yes, you know what, even if I reach to 96, I have something to offer. Even if I reach to 70, I have something to offer. That's what I wanted to take out of this video, because without depressing yourself, whoever is watching at this point of time, and particularly those comments really bothered me. So I just thought, I would make and give you some hope. There are people who achieve the greatest heights even when they reach to 60s and 70s. Some of the names I'm going to refer, you can Google it back, and there are some books to read, and I can just roughly or briefly read about themselves in Google, and you will see, there is a hope always. So there's one person I'm sure some of you know is Colonel Sanders. Most of you must have heard the name KFC, with a old uncle with a little beard. I think that's none other than Colonel Sanders. He started his business while he was 62. I made a separate video on that. If you wanted to take a look, you can take a look on that. I don't know if you know the name or seen, if you have a kids, something called Spider-Man. The man behind of that creation, of that comic book, is none other than Stan Lee. At the age of 39, he wrote a book, The Fantastic Four, that after all the rejections, achieved a great heights in his later careers. And And many kids, including my son, I would say, he loves to be a Spider-Man. And that old man couldn't bring the Spider-Man story to the world. And I'm sure a lot of kids would have been very much disappointed. So you see, that is something that we should always see. You never know what you're going to bring out to the world. And many lives can get benefit out of you. But if you give up on yourself, there's something that many people miss out what you're about to bring out, so something that you need to keep it. Now there's one more great name you must have heard about, Sam Walton, who was a founder of the Walmart, and he started his company while he was 44 years old. And I'm sure some of you must have heard about Henry Ford, and the one behind the Ford company. If you're driving a car, I'm sure you understand what Ford is all about. And the first model came out T, and well, he was the age of 45 years old. I'm sure some of you must have heard about McDonald's. Okay, creator of the McDonald's is something different, but then the one who brought to the world is none other than Roy Kroc, and who was selling ice cream machines door to door or company to the company. But when he looked at the model of the McDonald's, and he purchased, was 52 when he finally got the deal of McDonald's, and eventually he expanded this to the entire world, by the way. Now there is two important gentlemen I really wanted to touch, and that also will give you the hope of probably you have a long life ahead. There is one name I wanted to add is Jack Wheel. And he is behind the Rockmount Ranch where with his cowboy caps. He started his business when he was 45. Probably it's sometimes we think that, oh yeah, 65 is too long already, I'm ready for retirement or I'm ready to die or whatever it is. But the gentleman lived about 107 years, died at the age of 107 in 2018, and he started his business while he was 45. Now, what if he thinks at the age of 65 he's old and he's not going to try anything new? What if he get to live by another 40 years where he lived actually? Now, if he doesn't have anything, what is he think that he has to depend on someone for his living? That's one way of looking at it. But the second way of his business empire, you see how much he grown, how many people got benefited because of his vision, his thoughts, and his uh, the contribution. Just selling a cap, yes, selling a cap, but then there are many employees who works, and he gave a life to pretty much close to about 50 plus years when he started after he started the business. So there is something always you can give back. There's one more wonderful person I wanted to talk about is Harry Bernstein. He got acknowledged at the age of 96 at the book called The Invisible Wall about the Love Story while he was 96. Can you imagine? I mean, I didn't read the book. I'll definitely read the book because apparently it's a nice book and it came out while he was 96. Can you believe that? Now, why I gave you all these names and the ages? There is no age bar. There is no age bar. It's our mindset. We put a caps saying that, you know what, this is my life. I'm going to live the way it goes. Then you're already a loser, by the way, if that's the case. Each and every one of us has something within us, some drive, some passion, something that you love doing it. Initial days probably we will end up working for someone because that's the way how the world works, and we don't give a thought about what can go beyond this. Yes, the financial difficulties can make you block on that box thinking, that go for study, find a job, go to work and make money, be happy. That's traditional way of thinking. But there is something along in your spirit, is something you're going to strike, something's going to make you feel joy, make you feel alive when you think of doing it, or you probably doing it already. Now that's what your passion lies, that's what your life lies, I would say. Now, if you, based on your present circumstances, if you put a cap in your life saying, oh yeah, I'm 60, I'm 65, I'm ready for it, my health is not supporting. Yes, health will not support you as you grow old. but your mind will always support you as long as you take your breath. So if you put a limit on yourself, external will not help you, and you pretty much live like a loser and die like a loser, and then hoping the next life will be better. You will never know probably what will happen after you die, after we die, you know. So that's something that I want you to think. So, you know, the spirit soul is always young. You will never feel old. Okay, maybe bodily old, you will feel it. But have you ever wondered? I think I made a video on this one. Have you ever wondered that what is the difference when you're 50 years old, 60-year-olds? Did anything change in your soul? Did you ever felt that you're old? Did you ever, I mean, what was the difference between a first birthday other than your bodily evolved while you're 40, 45s? But your spirit soul is always forever young. Our mindsets can change. So you will never feel old even if you're 90, 60. Bodily might not support as we evolve, but definitely your spirit soul will never feel like you're old. Maybe that's a philosophical side. Probably you'll get into the later stages when you get to know about that. Don't give up on your imagination, your thinking that you're old, that you cannot achieve anything. Third, importantly, there are some names you can refer back and those who achieved great heights in terms of a business, in terms of a money, in terms of a fame, you know, and more importantly, contributing to the people around them. You know, when they start some business, means like think about Henry Ford. You know, number of employees Ford company has. You just need to Google it and see, you know, what impact that man left behind his idea. Same thing with McDonald's, same thing with KFC, same thing with some of the names what we had mentioned. So it is always worth pushing yourself. Well, you did your best, no regrets. And if, say, for example, end of your life, even if you impacted one life because of you, you are a great success already. But you know, giving yourself and not even making an impact on yourself, that what best can you bring to the world or bring to yourself and your family members, you know, that would be a great failure if you don't look at the life in that way. We can always, you know, work, eat, sleep, and do the best we can with whatever the circumstances we may be in. But what is the difference between us and another species in our life which we come across? That's something that you should always give a thought. So never give up. Always, as long as you take a breath, and there is always something that you can give back to yourself and to the world around you, because many people will benefit because of you. There are certain things only you can bring to the world because you are unique. So, Sibler, I hope that helps for you to do better in what you do. And more importantly, never give up, irrespective of your age. Age is never a bar, it's our mindset. Stay with Sibler, and talk to you soon.